Um, Excuse me, miss, but you seem to have missed me out. That is something I told my son to say the next time his teacher fails to be inclusive within the classroom. That is something I am extremely proud of, where I feel that I made a change. Now, to put some context into what I've just said, my 6-year-old son at the time came home with a piece of homework. It was to research some inspirational, influential history within women, within society, within history. Now, when I looked at the list and the usuals were there, you had your Florence Nightingales and your Margaret Thatchers and so on, I noticed something was missing: race. And right there and then, I became raged. I became angry. I wanted to march down to that school and say, how could you miss something so significant? But then I also realized I had a responsibility to educate and to make a change. So very pleasantly and politely, I went to the school and I spoke with the teacher and explained to her that through your remissions, you not only have informed my son that nobody that looks like him has done anything influential in history, you've also educated his peers to think that anybody that looks like my son has done very little, if anything at all, to contribute to society. A very long story short, the homework was recalled and sent back out. And to my happiness, it was inclusive of race and ethnicity. We had on there Rosa Parks and Jessica Ennis Smith. And this was significant and fundamental in that it not only made a difference and benefited my son and his peers, it will also change the perspectives of the parents and guardians doing the homework with the children. Now, me being me, I supported my son in researching NASA's human computer, Katherine Jenkins, and he submitted that. But the reason why I share this story with you is to demonstrate through this example how, as women, we are leading social change. Many women live their daily lives impacting society, making a difference within their communities. However, these same women are unaware of the leadership skills they exhibit and the differences that they are making. Now, you may not feel that you benefit from the difference that you're making, or even feel that you're making a difference at all. But the people surrounding you, the people watching you, are the ones that benefit from the differences, the changes, the influence that you are having on society. Through an activist attitude, we all can make a social change. And the activism required for these changes are not necessarily huge national campaigns where we walk into Parliament and demand a eradication on tampon tax, or if it's a celebrity-led campaign to feed the country's most poorest children through a global pandemic. But it's all the gestures, however big and small, that make a difference, whether that be at work, in the home, and yes, in the school playground. Think about the last time that you've heard a statement or someone's perspective and you've disagreed and you've wanted to say something but you didn't. You just walked away, and you could kick yourself for walking away. For me, the last time this happened was when my husband was going away for the weekend. My child, then 4, whilst embracing him to say goodbye, my husband uttered, "Whilst Daddy's gone, you will be the man of the house. Now, these are words said before. Many of us have heard them previously. And you could say they're quite innocent. But for me, they were a problem. Because when you place a 4-year-old, our 4-year-old, as the man of the house, where does that leave me? Where does that leave me, his mother, the adult, in this whole situation? Now, putting aside the unhealthy constructions of masculinity, that in itself is a separate talk. Again, I found myself in a position of rage, quite angry. But I didn't want to upset the home. I didn't want to upset my husband leaving. But I knew I had a responsibility again to educate and make a change. So I spoke with my husband, and together we made a change. This change now impacted his perspective, but also it would make a difference on the people that he engaged with and the conversations that he exhibited. Now, I know I'm not the Archangel Gabriel going around changing the world for the better. However, what I said previously about it not necessarily having to be something big and national and global, it's the things that we do and say on a foundational level that make an impact, that influence, that are demonstrating us in our social change. Now, just to bring us to my final point, I also want to emphasize the importance, the significance of not taking part. And that might sound a little contradictory into what I've just spoke about. But as women, we often find ourselves in positions, sometimes at work, where we are exploited for our identities, or we are given a seat at the table due to tokenistic reasons. But it's okay in that moment to get up and say, no, thank you, I'm not going to participate. And that in itself is demonstrating that activist attitude required for social change that we all have within us. Now, you may feel that movement, that campaign, that change is important and significant, and you'll just take one for the team. However, your self-worth, your self-value, and you saying no demonstrates you leading change, a change to make a difference to that type of attitude. You may not feel like a leader, and as women, many of us do not. We do not identify with those characteristics or attributes because we are constructed not to. But your action, your activism, however small you believe it to be, is making a change that impacts and influences society. Thank you.